Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's the weekend, so let's do the whole doggone thing. Saturday, March 26th, Epilepsy Awareness Day, also known as Purple Day. National Nougat Day. Usually you find nougat in the middle of a candy bar.
Yep.
You got to search real hard. You might need to eat 5 or 6 just to find it. But National Spinach Day, Saturday as well. Sunday, International Medical Science Liaison Day. So I'm not sure what that is.
Not sure what
Apparently
that
it's
is
for people
either.
who are liaisons for medical science. National Scribble Day, Sunday. National Spanish Paella Day. And National Joe Day, Joe. So I've got a brother, Joe. I'll have to reach out to him this weekend and wish him a happy Joe Day. I don't have a Joe as a guest today, but I've got a Yo, Michael Yo, comedian. See what I did there?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to be chatting with Michael Yo coming your way. He's got a new special that he's putting out for free on YouTube. I'm excited to chat with him. This sounds like a really interesting concept, and I'm excited to chat with him all about it coming up.
At bettercreditcards.com, our mission is to help you get a better credit card. Why pay more interest than you need to? We have cards with amazing points and perks. If you're not a point person and just want the lowest interest rate, you can find those too at bettercreditcards.com. You can also find credit cards designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card. Give yourself a little credit at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A recent study from Hi Bob and Fiverr showed 22% of workers are leaving their jobs to become freelancers. And while that could lead to greater autonomy over one's schedule, it can also lead to unpredictability when it comes to earnings.
True. Yep.
And being optimistic may help to improve a person's emotional well-being. A Boston University School of Medicine followed 233 older men over an 8-year period. They first completed an optimism questionnaire, then reported daily stressors and mood changes over the 8-year span. Those who were more optimistic were less likely to report negative moods and were more likely to report positive moods.
They really needed it.
Apparently.
It's so frustrating to hear what
also
grant dollars are going
felt
towards.
Fewer stressors. Researchers said their findings suggest that optimism may be associated with more favorable emotional well-being in later life. Also in earlier life and in middle life. I'm just saying. Surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
It's Bernie Carrick, former New York City Police Commissioner. If you own a gun, you need to check out StopBoxUSA.com, the safest solution to keep a firearm in your home and get instant, reliable access to that gun. It's an awesome weapon retention product, especially if you have little kids at home or frequent visitors. Get access to your gun in under a second. StopBox is the safest solution to keep a firearm in your home.
Use discount code RADIO to save 10% at StopBoxUSA.com.
You need to check out StopBoxUSA.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by RadioTravelGroup.com. Heidi, did you know? According to a recent poll, nearly 1 in 3 people say this person was the best Batman of all time.
Michael Keaton?
No, Ben Affleck.
No way.
1/3, 1 in 3. In a survey of 1,000 people in anticipation of the release of The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, Affleck had a 31% of the vote. Barely edged out Michael Keaton, by the way, 30%. Heidi's favorite.
Those people clearly never saw the Michael Keaton version.
Yeah. Kevin Conroy, Christian Bale, and Adam West ranked 3rd, 4th, and 5th, respectively. George Clooney's self-described franchise killer, that's what he said, was only 23%. What in the world? Nobody even mentioned Val Kilmer? Because Val Kilmer was a pretty good Batman, too, wasn't he?
Nobody was a good Batman other than Michael Keaton.
Will Arnett, by the way, was on the bottom of the list. He was the Lego Batman movie voice.
I was going to say, when was he Batman?
We don't know everything, but now we know this. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. 28 years after his shoestring budget breakout Clerks became the belle of the 1994 Sundance Film Festival, Kevin Smith is now launching his own movie festival in New Jersey. He unveiled the inaugural Smodcastle. I don't know if I'm saying any of that right. Anyway, it's named for his long-running podcast network and studio, SMODCAS, Smodcastle. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, they're going to be doing that in August. And
Our son is a huge fan.
yes. Ariel Winter is replacing Demi Lovato as the star of NBC's comedy pilot Hungry. The Modern Family actress, her new gig was announced in the wake of Lovato dropping out of the project right as they were getting ready to start it. And the Tin Man's oil can from Wizard of Oz going up for auction. They're expected to fetch about $200,000 for that.
I bet.
Actually, when is that? It was over the week. It's this weekend. Yeah, so I don't know. That's when the auction begins.
Throw a bid in there, John.
You know what? I think I'll pass this time. I got enough oil cans. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
The Vegas Travel Center is offering 3 days and 2 nights accommodations to Vegas. They'll completely waive the package price. Plus, you get tickets to your choice of activities as well as meals. Jump on this now. Obviously, a deal like this isn't going to last. When they're gone, they're gone. So don't miss out. Just call 605-210-5220 and they'll get you set up for a great getaway. Call now for this special radio offer. 605-210-5220. That's 605-210-5220.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Conventional wisdom says a reasonable amount of exercise to shoot for is to take 10,000 steps per day. That is about 9,900 steps more than I do. And I should probably up that. 10,000 steps a day. Do you think you get that?
I know I don't get that, but I should.
Well, here's what they say. They analyze data of people on 4 different continents, and they say the optimal number is actually closer to 6,000 steps. So they're saying if you're aiming for 10, you might actually hit this. So continue to aim for 10. But you reduce your risk of early death by stepping about 6,000 to 8,000 steps a day. So again, if you aim for that 10,000, that's probably a good thing. Because, I don't think that it hurts to go over that.
Oh, of course not.
It says there's no evidence that they live longer by walking more than 8,000 or more than 10,000. So they're saying if you get 6 to 8, you're good. No evidence that anything over that's going to help you anymore. And over here, spending just 30 to 60 minutes a week on muscle strengthening exercises could be enough to significantly reduce your risk of dying, even with no extra cardio like running or cycling. Researchers in Japan analyzed 25 years worth of studies done on 25,000 people. They say muscle strengthening activities were inversely associated with the risk of all mortality causes. So they're saying it's better if you, do a little bit of weight training because that's good for you. And that includes things like cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and lung cancer. So that's pretty cool. And they're saying they recommend adults carry out muscle strengthening exercises at least 2 days a week, including squats, push-ups, lifts, lifting weights, and other serious gardening could even be a thing. Some gardening, digging, shoveling, that kind of thing. Here's the thing I got to say. We just had a study that said 3 seconds a day of exercise was plenty. So I have been doing that.
You liked that
look at me.
Study. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can button my shirt all the way now. I've been doing this for a week, and I feel like a new man. All right, your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com.
Aloha! Are you ready to enjoy a little slice of paradise? GMDvacations.com is a family-owned, professionally managed vacation rental in sunny Kauai, Hawaii. Your family will absolutely love the area, and the vacation rental has room for up to 6 guests. Why stay in hotel rooms when you can have your own area at a vacation rental from GMDvacations.com? Visit Hawaii with us and make your trip to this tropical paradise one to remember. On Facebook and Instagram, online at gmdvacations.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. We have a comedy call with comedian Michael. Yo, Michael, how are you?
Yo, man, I'm happy to be alive, happy to be doing this interview. It's the big day today.
Well, it's a big day for us as well. We're talking to Michael Yo, and I'm reading here that you've got this new special coming out, but it says it's on YouTube. Is that where I find the new special?
Yes, YouTube is the right place. I wanted to put it out there for free. 2 years ago, this date is so important to me because 2 years ago I went into the hospital and almost died from COVID. So this whole story is about how bad things can be, but how great they can be in just 2 years change. Like I never thought I would almost die from COVID. I never thought I would have a daughter. So this is my last 2 years in life, and I'm putting it out today. I bet on myself. Joe Coy was my mentor and said, yo, you got to do it yourself. So I did it myself and put it out there for the world. And today is the day.
Well, I think it's awesome, and I'm glad that you're okay, and I'm glad that things are well. Back in 2018, you had a special that came out. It was called Blasian, and that did extremely well for you. So let's talk a little bit about the success of that and kind of what led up to today.
Well, the Blasian did so well, and Blasian got me to a point where I could tour and sell out clubs. You know, things were going well, and then the pandemic hit, and nobody could work. And in that 2 years after I went to the hospital, we all had a lot of time to reflect on our lives. I moved from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. I feel so much better. Me and my family love it out here. And then I was like, okay, it's time to write a new special. I started going up at the Comedy Cellar in town and started writing it out. And basically, it's a thing where I just feel so good about life, the positivity, the love. And I'm a better human, and I wanted to put that out there. So I'm doing a TV show with Bonnie Hunt on Apple Plus that's coming out in a couple months. So, man, life is great. Life is great.
Michael, I think it's really cool that you made the decision, hey, I'm going to do this, and you picked the day that you wanted to do it, and you didn't let anything get in your way, and you said, I'll just put it out directly to YouTube if that's what it takes. I think that's really cool.
Well, sometimes you got to bet on yourself, and after going through what I went through, I learned that. It's like, if you're not going to bet on yourself, how do you expect other people to do it? Because sometimes you got to show people you can do it. And once they see it, they're like, oh, okay. The big rule, one of my friends is a huge casting director in LA, and they gave me the best piece of advice. They go, nobody wants to be the first person, but everybody wants to be the second and third. I'm doing it myself. I'm going to be the first person on this one.
Now, you have been nominated for 2 Emmys. You just mentioned you got a new show with Bonnie Hunt. We'll come back and talk about that here as well. Do you like that more than stand-up comedy, where you're going in and there's a script and you're just acting? Or do you like it better climbing up on stage and doing stand-up comedy in front of everybody?
I love them both, but what's different is with stand-up, why I love it, because you get the reaction right away. And when you act, it's very weird. It's a very weird transition because the director, all you'll get is cut. Director comes over and goes, that was great. And literally, after they say that was great, they move on. Like, they're done with that scene. And I'm like, and then you question yourself because you're an entertainer. You go, was that great? Or was that bad? Did they just move on because I could? But with applause, like, it's almost like I would want to do a scene and everybody goes, yeah, that was awesome. That's what I'm used to. So that was a weird transition not to get that after a scene. And you feel you just got to trust them. But, people say if they're spending that much money on a TV show, they're not moving forward unless it's great. So
I watched an interview about Caddyshack when Rodney Dangerfield had done that movie. He kept telling people, man, I'm bombing out there. Nobody's laughing. And then they finally had to explain to him, Rodney, we want to laugh, but we can't laugh. It'll ruin the take.
And that's the whole thing. We're so used to applause and laughter, and that just doesn't happen because they're right. They will ruin the take. But also, Bonnie Hunt, she didn't want me to be the funny guy the first season. She actually wants to show people I can act. So I was kind of the serious guy, and everybody else was funny around me. So when we go to second season, fingers crossed, then she's going to make me funny. But she said it's too easy for you to be funny. I want to show people you can act, and then we'll move into the funny. So I love Bonnie Hunt. It's still surreal to get a text message from her here and there. So it just blows me away.
So the program you're doing with Bonnie Hunt, is that Amber Brown?
Yeah, it's called Amber Brown, and that comes out, I believe, in June or July. So, man, things are just rolling. But I'm super excited about this special that comes out today.
Well, I'm excited for Amber Brown in a few months, but right now I'm going to check out this special on YouTube. I never thought. Michael, thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you so much, and I really appreciate it. You have a great day, okay?
Absolutely. Again, our guest today has been comedian Michael Yo. He's been nominated for 2 Emmy Awards, and he's got a new special. It's out for free right now on YouTube. I'll throw a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
At BetterCreditCards.com, our mission is to help you get a better credit card. Why pay more interest than you need to? We have cards with amazing points and perks. If you're not a point person and just want the lowest interest rate, you can find those too at BetterCreditCards.com. You can also find credit cards designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card. Give yourself a little credit at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Mickey Mouse's dog Pluto was named after the planet, not the other way around. Some people think that the planet was named after the dog.
I don't know who would think that, but okay.
Apparently some people. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Soybeans produce more flatulence than any other beans. So people think quite often of like chili beans.
Sure.
But it's soybeans that do the most.
Okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The world's best-selling musical instrument is Guess
The guitar.
No, the harmonica. World's best-selling musical instrument. Yeah.
I would have never guessed that in a million
I'm
years.
glad that I gave you the answer then. And fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
To make 1 kilogram of honey, bees have to visit 4 million flowers, traveling a distance equal to 4 times around the earth for 1 kilogram of honey.
That's crazy.
And our final fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
According to The Joy of Cooking, one ostrich egg would serve 24 people.
Oh.
So if you have an ostrich, you don't have to sell many eggs because apparently they're pretty good size. Several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
It's Bernie Carrick, former New York City Police Commissioner. If you own a gun, you need to check out StopBoxUSA.com, the safest solution to keep a firearm in your home and get instant, reliable access to that gun. It's an awesome weapon retention product, especially if you have little kids at home or frequent visitors. Get access to your gun in under a second. StopBox is the safest solution to keep a firearm in your home.
Use discount code RADIO to save 10% at StopBoxUSA.com.
You need to check out StopBoxUSA.com.
Time now for the question of the day. It comes your way courtesy of RadioTravelGroup.com. Here's the question. A survey found that the number 1 thing forgotten by adults is where they put their keys. What is the number 2 thing forgotten by adults?
Why they came into this room?
Pretty close. Pretty close. I'll tell you the answer here in a second. But first, I want to remind you, we have the answer here on the radio, and we also have the answer in the show notes, but we do share the question on social media. So if you answer on there ahead of time, and then you listen and you find out the answer, then, you look really smart.
So what was the answer?
The answer is, number 1 thing people forget, by adults anyway, is where they put their keys. The number 2 thing is why they went to the grocery store.
Okay.
I have done that numerous times.
I have never forgotten why I went to the grocery store.
I have. All right, it's going to do it for your question of the day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
The Vegas Travel Center is offering 3 days and 2 nights accommodations to Vegas. They'll completely waive the package price. Plus, you get tickets to your choice of activities as well as meals. Jump on this now. Obviously, a deal like this isn't going to last. When they're gone, they're gone. So don't miss out. Just call 605-210-5220 and they'll get you set up for a great getaway. Call now for this special radio offer. 605-210-5220. That's 605-210-5220.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. The Batman. It's the biggest movie in the nation, maybe even the world right now. They had an unexpected element introduced to the screening in Austin, Texas, though. According to reports, they had, at a place called Movie House, at the Movie House and Eatery Theater, an unidentified and uninvited guest. There was somebody there that brought a live bat, and they let it go in the theater.
Oh, my gosh. That's horrible.
And then it was flying around, as, bats tend to do. Management attempted to lure it out of the auditorium by shutting off the screen and turning on a light in the hallway. Apparently, that didn't work. While everybody was offered a refund, most people decided to stay and watch the movie. Bat, no bat, who cares? No word on how the person smuggled the bat into the theater. So, yeah. That sounds like something Heidi would try.
That's really rude.
It is very rude. Don't do that. That is very bizarre. And it's today's weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. They've got their countdown to April Fool's Day. I like to remind people so you don't get tricked on April Fool's Day. Again, at WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for The List, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. We're going to talk about coffee filters. You can buy coffee filters fairly affordably, and they're handy for more than just coffee filtering. Did you know that?
I did, actually.
She smiled because the story that I have shared with her. Maybe we'll see if that's on here. Okay, number 1 on the list is covering bowls or dishes while they're in the microwave. Great idea.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really good idea. Another thing, cleaning windows, mirrors, and chrome.
I've heard that, actually.
Yeah. Separate your good dishes with coffee filters to protect them while moving. Oh, that's a good idea,
That's a good idea.
If you break the cork when opening a bottle of wine, filter the wine through a coffee filter. Oh, there you go. So then you don't get cork in your wine.
Right.
It says to hold tacos. You put a coffee filter on there, then you don't get a mess on your hand. It goes on the coffee filter. Well, what in the world? Next, put a few on the plate and then put your bacon on it or fries or chicken nuggets, and it soaks all the grease up really good. Line a plant pot with coffee filters, and it helps with the drainage on them. There's a whole bunch of other stuff on here. The thing Heidi was laughing about, when I was a young man, I moved in with my older brother. My first time I moved out of my parents' house. And I came home one day to find a stack of coffee filters on the toilet tank. And I said, what's going on here? He goes, oh, yeah, we're all out of toilet paper. You can guess what they were used for. All right. Not the greatest plan, by the way. You can see more of the list in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Aloha! Are you ready to enjoy a little slice of paradise? GMDvacations.com is a family-owned, professionally managed vacation rental in sunny Kauai, Hawaii. Your family will absolutely love the area, and the vacation rental has room for up to 6 guests. Why stay in hotel rooms when you can have your own area at a vacation rental from GMDvacations.com? Visit Hawaii with us and make your trip to this tropical paradise one to remember. On Facebook and Instagram, online at GMDvacations.com.
Now, the quote of the day comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Another anonymous quote. I'm just baffled by how many anonymous quotes there are.
Yes, you are.
Here we go. Eggs are fantastic for a fitness diet. If you don't like the taste, just add cocoa, flour, sugar, butter, baking powder, and cook it 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Because then it's a cake.
Then it's a cake.
That's what they're talking about. So, I like that. That's good advice. I might even try that. That is your quote of the day. If you happen to come across a quote that you think, hey, that's pretty funny. I like the funny quotes. You a fan of the funny quotes?
I like all of them.
Yeah, I like the funny quotes. If you've got a funny quote that you see somewhere and you're going, hey, I think that would make John and Heidi smile, you could share that with us at the bottom of the page at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of radiotravelgroup.com. We talked the other day about a gas station who was lowering their prices to help.
Right.
I got another great story here. I love this. Here's a headline. Chicago businessman giving away $1 million in free gas.
Whoa.
How cool is that? A Chicago businessman by the name of Willie Wilson donated $200,000 in free gas across the city. That was just in 1 week. Then he decided, I'm going to do more. He's donating $1 million. So that's actually more than $1 million. That's 1.2 if my math is correct. It says gas stations in Chicago were backed up as people were filling their tanks for free last Thursday. Every vehicle at participating gas stations was getting a $50 gas credit, basically.
That's
until all the
awesome.
money was exhausted. 4,000 vehicles were expected to get their fill, by the way. And it says Wilson announced a second giveaway, which was going to happen on March 24th. So that was this last week. It was last Thursday. This time it was $1 million. 50 gas stations across the city participated in the free gas giveaway. Each station is also agreeing to lower their gas prices during the event to allow more families to benefit from the generosity. They said, the need among the community is so great, Wilson said. Soaring gas prices have caused a hardship for too many of our citizens. He said, I'm confident that with God's help and wisdom, we will get through these tough times together. This is our second gas giveaway in a week. The need is so great. I want to help. If I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then my living is not in vain. I love that. That's really
great.
neat. So I've got a link to that story if you want to see it, all the details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.